What's the idea here? Should I tell you about what's going on?
Your breakthrough film happened to be your debut.
It was.
Such an auspicious beginning.
Let me tell you something. My breakthrough film being my debut is the only thing I've done. This is the only thing I've been talking about for 25 years.
Not
like
true.
I made Clerks. Hey man, did you know I made Clerks? That's how I introduced myself to people. I made Clerks.
You made
And then
Clerks.
it only changed last year, like because I had a heart attack, so finally I had something new to talk about. So now I'm like, I made Clerks and I had a heart attack. Isn't that nuts? I can always pivot back to Clerks. Doesn't matter what happened. People are like, yoga hosers. I'm like, yeah, but I made Clerks once. They're like, he's right, he did do that. So.
And I had a heart attack.
That's true. And then I throw that on top, too. This is a little sympathy vote.
So it was originally given an NC-17 rating.
It was.
And then you fought to have that brought down to an R rating.
Let's say I fought. At the time, Miramax, they didn't have a lot of money back in the day. They were used to doing things on the cheap and trying to make a lot of noise to get attention for their movies. So they hired Alan Dershowitz.
I've heard of him.
They had a press conference. He got up and he spoke and he said this. He's going, this movie should be an R. It should not be NC-17 because a teenager should be able to see this movie. I want my teenage son to see this movie so he knows never to do what these two kids do in the movie. And then what you do is you go to they have this thing, appeals committee, a screening, where if you're given an NC-17, you get to go argue, maybe flip it back to an R without making any cuts.
Okay.
So I got up and just started saying like, well, what about this movie, and this movie, and this movie, and this movie? And then next time I went to do it, they're like, you're not allowed to cite precedent. I've gone in front of the MPA 5 times and flipped my rating.
Really?
Yeah, without making a single cut. It's a record they don't give you a set of steak knives for or anything like that, but like I'm pretty proud of it. I used my mouth to get me out of a bad situation.
Something tells me that
I'm
you're
an oralist. You hear that, kids? If you're ever in trouble, the old mouth will get you out of it.
You've written a script for Clerks 3, right?
I wrote a script for Clerks 3
And you called
years
it
ago.
Your King Lear of films?
No, I said it was the King Lear of Clerks movies.
Oh,
There's a very big difference.
Okay.
But we're not going to make that movie. It's so sad. When I wrote that
Wait,
movie, I was
why?
obsessed with death.
Okay.
Because Clerks is about life in my 20s, and Clerks 2 is life in my 30s. Clerks 3 was meant to be middle-aged to death.
Okay.
And then, so I wrote it, and it's obsessed with death, and it's so sad, and it's depressing. You read it, and you're like, this guy forgot that Clerks was a comedy. But then I had a heart attack, almost died.
Right.
And so now I know what death is. I don't want to make that movie anymore. So we won't make that version of Clerks.
Okay.
But I have started, just last night, I started writing the new version of Clerks 3 that we're going to do. The new version makes a lot more sense and brings my entire life full circle. Like those characters, Dante and Randall, I love them to death because they gave me everything.
Right. I'm
still at the convenience store without those 2 boys. So I want to return the favor, man, and give them like the life that they gave me, and that's what Clerks 3 is about.